Hiya, how's it going? I'm the Cunning man. Thanks for joining me.
Run the title page. Morning everybody. We're off today to Baddesley, Clinton to go and play with our cameras. Let's go and see what we get up to.
So, as the Cunning wife said, we are at Baddesley Clinton Hall, which is in Baddesley Clinton, which is in the West Midlands. And it's a 15th century moated manor hall, which is very interesting. So there's lots of interesting stuff there. There's priest holes, there's witches' marks, there's all sorts. And it's also got a couple of lovely features, like a nice little bookshop where you can buy weird books, and a nice little cafe. So we are going to go and have a play with our cameras and go around there. But before we do, I just kind of wanted to sort of say, this is the advantage of having a lovely camper van. We got up this morning, we didn't have anything planned, anything to do. And we were like, what should we do? So we've jumped in the van, come down here, lovely and comfortable. And we're going to have a little bit of time just to ourselves. And I would recommend anybody if you can afford it, get yourself a camper. But obviously you don't need a camper. You can do this stuff just in your car. But yeah, so stay tuned. We'll be back in a bit with a little bit more information. So there's a fantastic church at Baddesley Clinton with some very, very interesting stuff in. Me and the Cunning woman, we've got a bit of a tradition of finding dread portals that look like they open to a different dimension. Check this one out.
Yeah,
that's just on the back of the church. I'm fairly sure it opens up in Narnia. There's another one. This one probably opens up in Middle Earth. Alright, I think we found the ultimate dread portal. I'm fairly sure this opens in Dumbledore's office in Hogwarts. Oh, there she goes. Off to study wizardry and witchcraft. Look at this absolutely beautiful internal garden. So we're on the other side of the moat now, as you can see. So we're in the house itself, which is gorgeous. I mean, at this time of year, just let me just move. Just look at all the beautiful colours. And then there's just this beautiful garden. If anyone on YouTube would like to buy me this house, then I would quite happily run an experiment to see what it's like to live in a medieval house. I'll film it and everything. See, it's got a fully stocked pantry. I'd be fine, be able to feed myself and everything.
Toothpicks?
Probably. We'll probably need toothpicks. Oh, there's toothpicks. Toothpicks. Look out Downton Abbey. This is the servants' area, and the posh people upstairs could ring the bell, and a little thing would come up to tell you which room to go to. How very, very posh.
And doing the forecourts, widening the moats and things like that.
Seriously, how Christmassy is that?
Oh, absolutely.
So this is just a fabulous place to visit. Everything is just so beautiful, and you can see the tables laid and everything else. I'm not going to do a full tour because I think you should come and visit it yourself, but I'm going to show you some of the things that interest me. I mean, just look at the fabulous carving on this thing. It's just unbelievable. The work that must have gone into that. Just love it. You'd have that in the living room, wouldn't you?
I would, yeah. That's not furniture.
Well, I believe so.
Not Bravehearted.
It's just like everywhere you look, there's ornate stuff. Again, look at these little boxes. I mean, that's my hand. So it's only a little box. But look at the work and craftsmanship that's gone into it. How come we don't do stuff like that these days? It's just so beautiful. Welcome to my medieval crib. This is where the magic happens. And of course, obviously, back in medieval times, you didn't iron your shirt, you botched it. And of course, no medieval moated hall would be complete without its own church. Look at that. But more fascinating to me than anything is look at how lovely that thing looks. I've mentioned before my grandfather was a master carpenter, as was his brother. I bet he would have loved to have seen some of this stuff. Is it just me, or does this tapestry wallpaper remind you of the family tree tapestry in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
There's all these beautiful paintings as well. They're all hand painted. The work that went into it. Do an impression of Dobby.
Makes me suck.
In another bedroom now, and it's a 4-poster bed in here, which really reminds me of Harry Potter. And I just wonder if J.K. Rowling wandered around places like this, thinking about her books. See, there's even a fireplace. Honestly, looks a little bit like
This one would do
the common room.
lounge.
Yeah, apart from the chaise lounge. Look at that.
Read how to read your book line there.
Do what?
Said I'd happily read my book line there, looking at the view.
Straight out of the view. I suppose warts and all as well. There's a load of scaffolding. They're currently preparing to do some work on the arched ceiling, apparently. Yeah, my imagination is terrible because I'm imagining some sort of James Bond film now. There's always medieval buildings with scaffolding in them. And talking of stories and all of this, just come across this, which I think is just stunning. The old phone typewriter. Imagine sitting here working. Window there looking out over your estate. And your fully stocked library. Also, weirdly, in South Portrait, not seen that before, she's playing guitar. Which I assume was her thing.
Not something you'd think.
It's not something you'd see. They're all, normally they're demure and holding a jug. But it's just interesting here. Never seen that before. So I've just had a chat with the tour guide, and they think that this lady was called Emma Petrie. And she was very, very, very loved, because if you look around her neck, see that? That necklace around her neck. Now, the chap did tell me what they all were in order, but I can't remember.
Diamond.
Sorry, go on.
Diamond, emerald, amethyst, ruby, emerald, sapphire and topaz.
And why in that order then?
Because in the mirror, when she looks in the mirror, she would see those gems, and the initial letters of the gems would spell out the word dearest.
Dearest, isn't that lovely? I just think that's amazing. Thank you very much, my friend. What a great story. So, in medieval times, priests were persecuted due to the Reformation, and houses like this often offered them sanctuary so that they weren't murdered. And this is very tiny, if I can just put my hand in there for scale, a very tiny priest hole where they would have hidden the priest and then closed this door. And you can see it's built into the panel. You wouldn't have known it was there. The priest would have hidden behind there. Brilliant. So you know my channel's focusing on the Cunning folk, and that's where my interest lies. Now you might think, because this building has a history of assisting the priests and the priest holes and so on, that the Cunning folk probably wouldn't have had a lot to do with the house, because often the misconception is that the Cunning folk were always pagan, or, you know, druid or whatever. It's actually not true. The Cunning folk generally tended towards the religion of the village or area that they served. And it was in order that the people of the village trusted them. So even though they may have dealt in more pagan beliefs at some points, at other points they dealt in Christian beliefs, or even at some points Church of England beliefs. And that meant that often the charms were religious. So when you see witches' marks and things like that in some places, they refer to archangels. And that's why the Cunning folk sort of lasted as long as they did as well, because they were able to adapt to the communities that they lived in. So the Cunning folk would definitely have had quite a bit to do with Baddesley Clinton. The beauty of places like Baddesley Clinton is that even if you're not into wandering around historical old houses, there's a second-hand bookshop here that sells books as cheap as 30p, and there's lots of different bits and pieces go on here. So there's pumpkin carving for the kids, and hot chocolate and nature walks and all this sort of stuff. But you can just come and just browse through all the books, if books is your thing. I mean, it goes right the way back, all the way over there. There are literally probably hundreds of thousands of books here. British Politics for Dummies. I think we might know somebody that could benefit from reading that. So after our lovely tour, we thought we'd stop for something to eat, and I got myself a nice bagel, pastrami and Emmental bagel, and the Cunning woman got herself ice cream. I think she may be mental. So this one's going to split the audience a bit. Now, I would love to buy this book, as I think with the Cunning woman.
Definitely.
But most of you may have different views. What do you think of this? The Brussels sprout cookbook. All recipes with Brussels sprouts. Now, some of you might love that. Most of you won't. Shall I buy it? Okay then, so that's us all done with Baddesley Clinton. We've had an absolutely lovely time. We sat in the back of the van for about half an hour and had a lovely cup of coffee and looked through all of our photographs and everything else. But you don't really want to see that bit. Anyway, thanks for joining us. It's been really good fun. Hopefully you'll enjoy the video, and you'll continue to join us on our motorcycle, camper van, car trips to history. Bye.